Hi, this is Richard Chamberlain. Welcome back to the Protecting Your Family's Future podcast. This is episode number 121. Today, we're going to be talking about the Corporate Transparency Act. Now, if you have a business, you need to know about the Corporate Transparency Act. And if you're like a lot of people, you have no idea what I'm talking about right now. So it's very important that you know this information. A couple of years ago, the federal government passed a law. It's called the Corporate Transparency Act, and it requires companies to report information to the federal government, to an agency called the uh, Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN is the acronym for it. And what it requires is that the reporting companies, and that's any corporation or LLC or other company that was filed with a state government, so formed by filing articles of incorporation or articles of organization, for example, they are required to report information to FinCEN about both their beneficial owner information and the people in the company who have substantial control over the operations of the company. The purpose of the Corporate Transparency Act is to combat uh, money laundering and illegal activities in corporations, such as funneling money to terrorist organizations and things like that. So the government wants to know in these companies who are the people who are the owners and who is in control of what's happening inside the company. So it's very important that you report your beneficial owner information to FinCEN. If you fail to do that, then there are significant penalties for not doing it. You could get civil penalties of $500 per day for each day that you have failed to be in compliance. You could get a fine of up to $10,000 and up to 2 years in jail for not doing this. So, as I said, it's very important that you do what needs to be done under this law. Now, what are the deadlines? So, if you have a company and it was formed prior to January 1 of 2024, then you have until the end of 2024 to file. So, about 6 weeks from now. If you formed a company in 2024, then you have 90 days from the day of formation to file your report. If you form your company after 2024, so January 1 of 2025 and beyond, you have 30 days to file your report with the FinCEN. So it's really important to know these deadlines and to get the reporting done. So, question: how do you report? The easiest way is to go to the FinCEN website and you can do an e-reporting, an electronic reporting right on your website, right on your computer, or you can download a PDF and fill it out that way. I'll put the link to the website in the show notes. The information that you need to report, the name, address, date of birth, a unique identifier number, usually a driver's license number, and a copy of that identifying document, that driver's license, for example, that needs to be reported for each person who is a beneficial owner. And that is defined as someone who is at least a 25% owner of the company, or someone who exercises substantial control over the company. Now, there are a lot of questions, there are a lot of nuances. At the website, the FinCEN website, there are pages of frequently asked questions and the answers to those questions. There's a small entity compliance guide. So I encourage you to visit that website if you have a business or an interest in a business and you're wondering, do I need to do this? How do I do it? Then go to that website and you'll get all of your questions answered and you can report what you need to report. Now, if you want a little bit more detail, I was a guest on a podcast of a friend of mine. It's called the My Digital Farmer podcast. And we talked for about 30 minutes about the Corporate Transparency Act. So I was able to go into a lot more detail in that podcast. And I encourage you to go and listen to that one. Again, that's the My Digital Farmer podcast. And if you own a business, you should be listening to this podcast anyway. It's all about marketing. Now, the podcast is specifically to farmers, but I enjoy the podcast because it teaches me a lot about marketing just in general. So take a listen to that one for the Corporate Transparency Act. And I promise you, you'll get some good information about marketing your business as well. So I hope that's helpful for you today. And we'll see you again next week. Thanks.